I'm here with two former legends.
Where's the bloke? It's half time.
We talk to a bloke about football. Where's the bloke?
Go and get the bloke, love. Come on, get the bloke, love.
Where's the bloke?
Where's the bloke, love?
Where's the bloke?
Get the bloke, love. Get the bloke.
You've got a fucking day to get 3 points!
But Tottenham, it's the history of the Tottenham.
We'll do it live! Fuck it!
Yo, bienvenido a blokes.
Boom.
Bienvenido a blokes. It's me, everyone's favorite bloke, Maresh, joined by
Everyone's favorite something else, too.
Ethan and James this week in the stew. You know how we do.
Cooking.
We are here, episode 21. Can you do something for me? That was the most dad joke I could have ever said.
I believe Spanish is 21, no?
No way. I feel like you're going to get the next 10.
It's crazy.
9. And,
I'm just
challenging you. I want them in German from now. I want you to do it for your heritage.
You know, fun fact about Ethan is my dad was a German major in college. So.
Oh, shit.
I haven't heard him speak German once in my life, really, but yeah.
Yeah, what are you? Are you German, Italian? I just feel like
German
you eat spaghetti and sauce every week.
German and English.
Like
Finnish, a bit of Finnish in there as well.
Shout out my sister while we're shouting out German major. Shout out her. She's graduating in June with a double major. German is just one of them. But.
So she's the smartest person we know.
Just dunking on my dad right there, huh?
I mean,
that's kind of fucked up.
One major.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, stats are stats.
I'll raise you 2.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
I had 2 minors, if that counts for anything.
I mean, I hope there's a major in there. Were you just a big minor guy?
No, I just had like a bunch of minors.
Well,
a casual Morash hanging out with a bunch of minors. That's like him on a Friday night.
Oh no! Speaking of Friday nights, I went to Dave & Buster's with the gang on Friday night.
D&D's.
It was pretty lit. It was for KB's birthday. If you are strangely here because
birthday,
you don't
KB.
know who KB is and you're just an Organic Blokes fan, he's a friend of mine, also a small-time podcaster.
We still K right now. Sorry about that.
No. Oh, shit, I might have ruined something. But
That's actually a huge drop. That's a huge spoiler for the real RBGs right there, or BRGs right there.
BRGs, yeah. I guess they might talk about it this week, but yeah, wild Friday night with the fellas, just like 12 dudes at Dave & Buster's.
What's better than kind of Clemmer looking
dude?
gas.
Clemmer and Smokes were going at it.
Hide your broad.
Like there was like Connect 4 Papa Shot, and it was like Smokes and Clemmer going back and forth, and Clemmer would hit one and just
center of the ring, just trading
content.
Blows.
Yeah,
Two giants
and
of the industry.
Yeah, and he just would start screaming "fuck you" like so loud in Tommy's face, and there was just kids, and the parents were dying laughing. They didn't care. They're fucking Dave & Buster's Times
They weren't
Square
sure if that was
night.
one man or 2 kids in an adult shirt. And they saw.
Yeah, no one really knows. So it was good. It was good.
Sounds fun though.
It was a fun time. Now we are. It allowed me to enjoy the rest of my weekend. Came off. Let's start Wednesday last week. We had a little bit of Carabao Cup, a little bit of a tin pot energy drink action on a Wednesday for the fellas.
Some energy drink cup. You know that's my favorite. Tell me what happened, Marash.
Yours is the favorite. Your favorite is the FA. That's your favorite tin pot.
If you don't know I'm being satirical,
I will not sit here and let the FA Cup be besmirched. A once great cup, I will not have it be besmirched. It's been lost in all the oil money because all these not oil money, but all these big money clubs focus on the league now.
I'm making fun of the Carabao Cup right now.
No, I'm just saying, like the FA Cup. I mean, I feel like the importance of it has waned over the years, but
Dwayne.
Rock.
I know what you're trying to say.
Whatever.
Are you talking about my boy The Rock right now?
This dude,
we all get the point.
No, being Dwayne would be going in the opposite direction. Then you're like, ooh, I'm Dwayning right now.
I'm Dwayning.
The point being, it has lost some importance over the years. And
Yeah.
I will not sit here and let the English FA's crown jewel be besmirched.
Quit trying to hop in and steal my thunder. We're talking about Carabao Cup, so that's my cup right now. Man U played Nottingham Forest in the Forest. Rashford, just a man against boys in the first 6 minutes, goes down the entire left side of the pitch, just dribbling through guys. I know Ethan's going to sit here and say he shouldn't have kept the ball, but he did, and he went in and he scored because he's in form, and that's what Marcus Rashford does at the moment.
No, why would I say that? It's a good goal.
It's a good goal. Not too long later, Sam Surge ties it up in what was a great build-up counterattack for them. Does the Ronaldo, we get into this conversation weekly. I'm not a rule maker, so I can't dispute that they called that offsides, but gotta follow the rules to win games. You know what I'm saying? So it would have changed the game, I will say that, but it was offsides, and then United kind of just dominated again. That's the difference between the last 5 years United and this year's United. We dominate games that we should dominate, and that's what
that is
business.
You say it, and you almost expected a response from me, but I will say this: any mark of a good team is being able to beat the bad teams and just handle bad teams and move them aside. It sounds simple enough, but that's where titles are lost. That's where cups are lost. Is overestimating and underestimating. But no, I will say that listen, Rush. If nothing else, Ethan Camps is a fair man. So I will sit here and I will say it was a big win over Nottingham Forest. It showed that Man United aren't completely pathetic and just on a good.
We're finally coming out of. We're doing a long turn of the corner. We're finally turning that corner after 10 years.
I will say this though. I do question the depth of the United squad, and I think kind of with all these games coming up, results are gonna run dry, and it will kind of become dogs sitting in room on fire. This is fine. Everybody will.
That Ericsson injury is looking like it might be kind of key. You guys are
we'll get to that when we talk about the Reading game. The rest of this game, though, my takeaways here: Wan-Bissaka looks really good. He kind of stepped up. It's going to be interesting how him and Dalot fight for that position in the right back.
Was this the game that Wan-Bissaka had the big tackle at the back end? He just stopped the goal. I can't remember if that was this game or Reading.
No, that was against Crystal Palace where he stopped.
All right, you see, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's okay.
But this game, the second goal was Ethan with the cheeky sprinkle on the big fella to get an anytime goal. Classic poacher's goal.
I want to say this right now. And I have a friend who could back me up on this because I text him my soccer goal scorer picks. I haven't missed on a soccer goal scorer in so long. I just hit one today, Mikel Antonio against fucking Derby
County.
I hit Oxlade-Chamberlain. I sent that one in our group chat. Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Oh, the header. He got off the header, right?
I also hit Thomas Souček to get booked today, but continuing.
So after that, it went right into halftime. And then United kind of dipped off like they classically do, allowing Forest to kind of get back in the game. They get one back. And then Bruno gets one to put it away. Good win for United, like we said. But that pretty much kind of seals the deal. Or no, did Forest get one back or did we win 3-0?
It was 3-1.
I think we won 3-1, or was that the Reading result?
It was 3-0.
3-0, yeah, 3-0, and then goes back to Old Trafford this Wednesday, where seemingly it should be taken care of. United should
be able to try to B squad out there and handle it, but
yeah, should be able to see us through to the Carabao Cup final at Wembley on February 26th. Great performance.
I gotta say, you did just shout Ethan out for calling the wild goal, but there was a tweet from the Blokes account that was who's scoring the first goal out of these guys? And it was Joao, Modric, Wout, Who Liverpool just signed again? My bad.
Oh,
bad.
Gakpo. Yeah, you wouldn't even know his name because
Gakpo.
he's been so bad.
Bro, he's been trash. He's been trash.
Yeah.
He's 2 games
And
away
Wout-
from 007. He's 005 right now.
Yeah,
And I said
big
wow. I said probably wow, and you didn't.
So, yeah.
It's cool. It's
Hey, let's give James his flowers, everybody.
Also, let's not be like, oh, wow, Leghorst scored first. I mean, Mudryk has played 35 minutes.
That's why I was an
Leghorst
easy
has
guess,
started like 3 games.
because I was out for like a month, and
Yeah, we didn't
Leghorst-
mention Mudryk.
Wout
didn't
Weghorst
mention-
started like 3 games.
No Mudryk slander. He looked class in those 35 minutes. But that was our midweek action. Newcastle played. Who did they play? Sunderland? Well, yeah, and they won 1-0. Who's going to score against these fucking guys? They don't let anything past them.
That's why I don't necessarily hate fellas
reckon we'll get one
sprinkling a little cheeky Newcastle to win the league because they just don't concede. Sure, they aren't the best team at scoring, but at the same time, if you just keep the ball out of the net the whole time, you're going to win games against lower side teams. You're going to get points.
Yeah, they're getting points every game. So kudos to them. Hats off to them. So they have one more game against Sunderland. They've got to defend 1-0. I think they go to Sunderland.
I think it's Southampton.
Oh, Southampton.
I watched
Southampton.
right. Yeah, I think so. But I watched that first game, and it was.
It is
I mean,
Southampton.
Newcastle. How pathetic could he
next
be in
game is
front of
at
net?
Newcastle.
That's kind.
Oh, they
I mean,
missed a
that's
bunch of
obviously-
opportunities.
They were. I mean, Joe Ellington had one of the worst misses I think I've ever seen in my life. He gets a goal called back from handball. I think he ended up scoring the goal, but it was completely created by Isak coming on and turning the defender. It was pathetic.
He's a good player.
They should have won that game 3-4-0, and they just
don't. That's not them. They take the
no,
goals
but
they get. And they
it's
defend.
not even like they didn't even have chance. They had wide, like clear cut chances to score. Like Maresh, it's not even like a better ball in and we score. It's literally just like if we don't control the ball with our hand and just kick it in the goal 6 yards out, we're up. If we turn and fucking hit the net instead of sending like wide open goalie's scrambling, they just miss the net completely.
Yeah, they have to improve upon that, but I think they've got time, and they will. If they finish top 5, they'll get the money, and they'll get the money to try and go make runs in Europe, in Europa, or Champions League, whatever they qualify for. And it'll be interesting to see what they can do. But they still need to get past Southampton again this week in order to see themselves through to the Cup final. I am potentially thinking about going if I can find a cheap ticket to the match. The flights are pretty cheap for me out of New York, so I'm cheeky thinking about it. But the part of me that doesn't want to go is the final.
Oh, okay.
Carabao Cup final.
No, that'd be cool to go to.
Yeah, it's at Wembley, but here's the thing. If I spend that money, the flight and the ticket to get out there, and then they fucking can't score against Newcastle,
this is what I
can't. I can't come on this podcast.
Paresh,
I will have to. I'd have to quit. It would just be
as
you
a
two.
friend, I don't pray on your downfall, but as like just an overall United supporter, nothing would make me happier than you spending this money to go over there. Like you have your big match, final day out with all the United fans. You're chanting, singing. You're at the pubs. You go to the game, and then it's a 0-0. You lose on penalties to Newcastle, and then that flight home, you're just like, "What did I even do this for? I could have just stayed home in New York, went to a bar."
Yeah, sitting.
That's the cynic in me.
Cried in my own bed.
That's the cynic in me.
Listen, if you don't think that I've been like making pros cons lists, like writing this one out, writing out the scenario and the cons list of they lose like 3-0 to Newcastle, and it's the beginning of the downfall of this season for United. Like I've been doing it all. I've been playing it all out. But we're not there yet, so we don't got to go.
I can't.
Oh, I know. I'd support you a little bit, but
well,
I'm a good person, so
that's where we differ, I'm afraid.
Yeah. All right. So after those 2 games, we then went back to the 4th round of the FA Cup. We kicked off on Friday. It was Man City Arsenal. Before James, we go over to you. I'll say this. If I'm an Arsenal fan, I am not too scared of those guys anymore.
No.
And the
I
only
mean, you
other
guys
thing I'll say
probably-
is, what were you going to say?
You said you only had one thing to say, so what do you got?
The only other thing I'll say is Fabio Vieira. Where was he? I didn't even realize he was on the pitch. I don't know if he's going to. Yeah.
That wasn't great. That wasn't a great showing from him. I mean, as I tweeted out, we did have a very interesting lineup out there. We're playing Tomiyasu, Turner, Tierney,
Cup games, you got to show your depth in your squad.
Vieira. No, I understand. Eddie. But we weren't
Tomiyasu looks
playing-
solid.
No, he's
almost
not
netted one.
bad. He's not bad. But I'm saying like we were playing Turner and Tommy over like Zinchenko. Like Zinchenko was on the field anyway. We were playing Sambi Lakonga at the Sambi was just looking terrible. Martinelli wasn't out. That's the other one I was thinking about.
You started Trossard.
No Odegaard, no Martinelli, no Zinchenko, and we played Turner. Turner isn't a bad goalie. He's serviceable, especially with Ramsdale. It's not like Ramsdale's been on his head or anything. So I don't mind getting Turner a run out there.
Yeah, well, it's not like fraud Ramsdale would have done anything about that Ake goal anyway. It's perfect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not like that. Like
I was right before
he's been no superstar.
Yeah, right before he scored that goal, I was I had the text typed out to the group chat being like, Ake is so big.
It smelled like a late one.
And then he fucking put it in. I was like, delete.
It smelled like a late one for sure. I mean, they were playing out a sus lineup as well. It's not like they were putting their best lineup. They did play Haaland though, which I was surprised.
Yeah,
by.
and he lived in fucking Holding's pocket.
Dude, he was only really trying to attack Holding because I feel like he knew, like
he got him on that yellow early.
Though.
Yeah, he got him on that yellow early, and then
I mean, but Holding again is just an absolute fucking liability. Like unless we're putting him on for the 3-5-2 at the end of the game when he turns into Holdini, like I don't want him. I don't want him playing, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess we have to. We have to rotate the squad. It is what it is, but.
I will say
Sambi looked tragic. He should move on.
I do not think
that camp.
Saka looked bad too.
I do not think
we should have gotten pulled earlier.
I do not think we could sit here and say like, Marashi, you opened the conversation by saying I don't think we could sit here and say like Arsenal shouldn't be scared of Man City, because like the same way this Premier League season is lining up. The same shit has happened to Liverpool countless times over the past 5 years. How many times has Liverpool been top of the table? Like, you know what I mean? Playing cat and mouse with Man City. Like, Man City just had this experience.
The league game would be different, so.
It's impossible to just sit here and say, like, oh, they shouldn't be too worried. Like, yeah, they didn't win by 4. They won 1-0, but that's, like, kind of the performance they need to – they don't need to win 3-0. They don't need to dominate you. They just need to hold on and win, and that's what they're going to do. They're fucking good.
I know, but like from my point of view,
but
I'm just saying that
put out a pretty strong lineup. And we held our own for the most part.
Yeah, I just don't know how much it changes. Like your bench players are still probably good.
You don't think Odegaard and Martinelli and like getting Gabriel Jesus back changes that at all?
Yeah, but it also changes things from a defensive point of view, too. You have to play the entire game differently, and those players can make mistakes just as well as anyone. You can't just say here and say,
I mean,
Zinchenko
is a much
our starters, I'm not scared. I think it's still like, Man City definitely weren't going balls to the walls for a carabao.
I'm not saying they were. Like, both of us weren't trying our hardest.
No, exactly. So that's why I don't think you could look at this performance and be like, oh, I'm not scared of Man City. And I'm not saying you specifically. I'm saying the collective who are saying, "Oh, Man City's not that scary to Arsenal." You can't just.
I'm not saying I'm not terrified, but they've been dropping points. They've been dropping points to other people though. So it's like, I don't know. It has seemed more attainable to get a scrape.
Same thing happened last year. Same thing happened last year to Liverpool. They were clear. Everybody wrote Man City off, and then there they came.
Well,
Come and
let's
see
see.
how we're
You know,
coming with the club.
Arsenal now only have 2 tournaments to compete in. They have Europa and the league, and so less games, less chances for injury. The team will be fresher, healthier, so it could play into their advantage. We'll see. Um, but the other action from the fourth round
shall
of the
see.
FA Cup, let's see. We had Tottenham are through. United played Reading. Andy Carroll is a piece of shit. That one stayed constant throughout that game. He was just, I don't even know what he was trying to do, but Reading just came and played. Park the bus, just stand there and don't let it. They were crowding the box, like 8 people in the box. We couldn't get anything done. And that's when Casemiro comes in and shows he's one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, I mean, what a bloke, really stepping up against Red. Like, get out of town, Naresh. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, a guy who spent all his career at Real Madrid and won however many Champions Leagues. Like, oh, yeah, he really tore it up against Reading. Like, that's not really that surprising to me, personally.
Hey, well, you know what? To me, it was awesome. For me, it was awesome. But yeah, it was a good game. In the first half, I was definitely frustrated. But Casemiro scores 2. Fred scores a beautiful goal. What was that? Little. Oh God, I could watch that one all over and over again. Especially because I've been out on Fred.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think everybody's been out.
Have to get used to him, my man.
Yeah. So a little bit of Jogo Bonito at Old Trafford. Get the boys something to be excited about. But also we lose Eriksson, seen on crutches, leaving the match. That's a big blow because we don't really have another option in the midfield. We could potentially use someone
midfielders,
from,
don't you?
Well, we could play.
You have
Who's going to
Bruno,
replace
Casemiro,
him?
Fred, and McTominay.
Yeah, it's going to be Fred. McTominay has been bins this year.
It's a real shame they have, like, Hannibal on loan to, like, fucking
Birmingham.
Birmingham, yeah. He's been playing well. He got an assist against Blackburn on the same day. So,
yeah.
We'll
see what Ten Hag does. I've heard rumors of a loan move for United, but I don't think we're going to bring anybody in. So I think this is a squad we're going to have to play the season with, and it is what it is. But, through to the next round, looking like City is going to be the biggest competition left after then Liverpool loses to Brighton 2-1. That one was rough. And
did you see
I don't know.
Matoma's goal? Matoma, is that how he's
yes.
Smoke.
Yeah.
Japanese lad.
Matoma. Yeah,
he's
insane.
That was something special. He has had two worldies in the past 2 weeks that have been like, oh,
he's been tearing it up. Been absolutely tearing it up.
Just absolutely the picture of composure right there, to just take it on your right foot, dink it over the defenders, and just rifle it home. Perfect.
Little tap.
No.
And Brighton away continues to be just an impossible fixture for Liverpool. Liverpool cannot win away at Brighton. I don't think they've won there in the past 3 years. I think it's impossible for them.
It's got to be a Puskas.
Fresh, evergreen bloke comment by Ethan is, how long are we going to let Jurgen Klopp get away with this?
I don't know, man.
We keep getting away with this.
I don't know, man. Everyone's like, how could you even sack him? But they're not in good form. The players, the drop off from where they were has been.
I mean, it's been however
many
7-year
thing.
Played
That's
less
his
than
history.
He's probably played 5 games, but I mean, spending money on Gakpo, spending money on Nunez.
Big
At some
money
point,
on
somebody's going to have to start asking some questions around Anfield. I won't be the one, because personally, do you ever see, I'm a million accounts tweet it. It's you're sick if you like watching the downfall of insert Chelsea or Liverpool here, and then it's just a bunch of reply tweets of sick people. But I'm one of those sick people. I enjoy watching it.
Yes.
And did we lose Maresh?
No, we didn't. It still has his video. Don't worry.
It's
been doing this to me as well.
All right. I lost Maresh.
No, I had to turn my mic off. I had to go stir something on the pot.
Oh, okay,
This guy
Marash.
cooking right now?
Okay.
Domestic Marash?
Bro, I live by myself. What do you want me to do? I'm a chef.
Bus. Making food for yourself is so beta.
Dude, I know it's really beta. And then I make
Not the
food for
similar
other people
stuff.
too.
I know. Oh my gosh. So you just love that kitchen. Huh?
I'm an alpha beta.
Okay. You're the alpha of the betas.
I'm alpha of the betas.
You
Like
lead the
I'm top.
betas.
I'm a
You're just
top
Andrew
tier
Tate.
beta.
You're
is what you're
top
saying.
beta. No.
No, he's Sigma. He's alpha sigma.
Gotcha.
Beta sigma. Beta sigma. I don't like it. But
All right, we just got a little derailed.
Liverpool needs. I don't know what they need, but like it shows you how much
Dude, their
Sadio Mane
midfield
did
is
for that
just-
club.
The midfield has just no structure to it.
Dude, Joe Gomez. They have no
just
depth
walking
anywhere.
through them.
Joe Gomez stinks. Fabinho stinks.
Listen, this is another thing.
Joel Matip stinks.
For
Mo
all the
Salah,
talk,
what's he been doing?
for all the talk Liverpool fans love to have about Virgil being like the best center back of all time, which is
He's injured.
delusional. But it's
I
like
agree with that.
delusional. It's like aside from Virgil, their defense is shit, and Virgil himself has been pretty shit this year. This very same year.
I just like I really hate how they try and put him
It's
in a
hard when you
conversation.
have a terrible center mid right now, and everyone's dribbling right to you.
Yeah, Harvey Elliott.
RV Elliott.
But,
Yes,
like,
sir.
I
He
hate how
scored
they
one
try and put. I hate how they try and put Van Dijk in the conversation with like Vidic, John Terry,
Ramos.
like,
Marash,
like
there's
the
something
best
you should
Premier
know.
League.
The amount of times on my old soccer burner I used to get into those arguments because it would be some fucking Liverpool fan baiting pretty much Chelsea fans to be like, it would be like a tweet like, oh yeah, John Terry could never play a high line, like shit like that, and I'd just sit there and be like, all right, well, and then 2 hours of my day gone battling on Twitter. But
Don't get me wrong, I don't like John Terry. I won't sit here and defend a Blues player publicly on Twitter or anything, but like, wasn't he on the Chelsea team that conceded the fewest amount of goals in like the Premier League history?
very correct, Marash.
So like,
captain.
I don't think that
Actually.
the fact that we can sit here and say that Van Dijk is remotely near in the
I actually
conversation
saw
of
a
him,
clip.
Rio or Vidic
A clip
or
of fucking carefree Louis G, Chelsea guy on Twitter, talking. He was he was like, it was honestly one of the worst takes I've ever heard in my life. He was like, you know what, Ricardo Carvalho was actually the heartbeat of that defense. Like, he was the guy making. I was like, oh my god, what are we even talking about?
I mean, don't get me wrong, he was great, but no, it's
Great.
John Terry.
Great. I'm not here to hash out 2004 Chelsea
It sounds like we are.
intricacies.
We do
though.
this
So
regularly.
let's carry on.
Living in the past. Did you guys watch the Wrexham game?
I did
I said
did.
last
I
week on
saw
this
some
show,
highlights.
keep your eye out for the Wrexham game, that it was going to be a classic, and it lived up to the hype.
You know who fucking bet on Wrexham? This guy.
Oh man,
I had drawn no
absolutely
bones.
gutted to see that.
It pushed. But as
Yeah,
I
it
was just sitting in my bed, and as I'm sitting in my bed, this is
Where
no
else would he
joke.
be?
I look outside my window, and there's a dad like walking his kid. The kid's like maybe 2 years old, and the guy's wearing a Wrexham hoodie, and he's like explaining to his kid like, this is Rex. Like, he was talking about the hoodie to his kid. So I was like, this is. I mean, if there's ever.
Congrats, brother! You watch FX.
Yeah, congrats to like watching It's Always Sunny. Bro.
Congrats on the Hulu subscription, my boy. Sick. I will say it was fucking hilarious. Did you see Blake Lively's tweet of like,
Yeah.
I bought ESPN Plus just to watch this, watch my husband be anxious. That was awesome.
All kidding aside, though, I think that third goal that Wrexham conceded was one of the worst set-piece goals I've ever seen conceded in my life. And that's where it shows. They're a fucking non-league team. They're a non-league football side. So,
And now they have to go to Sheffield United, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be a tough one because they're in great form.
Tough to look in the rearview mirror and be like, oh, we left a fucking win against 10 men at home on the field because we didn't decide to defend a set piece. Like,
Yeah,
shitty. It's
it is.
uphill task now.
It is. And then the last game of the FA Cup this round was West Ham Derby. United found out before the game that they would draw whoever won that game, so it's going to be West Ham. To Ethan's point earlier, Antonio with one of the goals. They are through and will play United in the next round. Bowen,
Jared Bowen's a sneaky good player, fellas. I don't know how much West Ham you watch, but he's someone to watch out for. I think he's probably their most effective player. Like, a lot of people like to say Antonio just because he's high on their like all-time list, I think. But Jared Bowen's honestly the goal scorer of the group.
I think Bowen was talked about a lot more last year. I was hearing his name tossed around than I have heard of him this year. But.
Yeah,
he scored today, and he scored at the last match round in the Premier League against fucking Everton. I think he scored a brace actually. So
yeah. Well, that'll take us through. There's a bunch of replays for the FA Cup this week. We'll have Man U Nottingham Forest as well as this Southampton Newcastle game during the week. Next weekend, I know United plays Palace. I don't know what you guys have, but speaking of you guys, Ethan has had a big week off from Chelsea football. The only update he's been able to provide in the chat has been that they went to an army base. That was Potter's.
Yes, Graham Potter took them to some form of a military base. He's preparing them for war by exposing them to real life war. And frankly, I couldn't be more excited.
Could you imagine doing that to the new Ukrainian on your team?
I mean, that's one out of, I don't know, 40 players. 30 players.
So Ethan, how have you been spending your time now?
Actually, as sad as it is, I've been spending it watching Chelsea highlights. Been running through the old YouTube favorites, watching some of my favorites. Demba Ba's winner against PSG in the semifinals in 2014.
Jeez. You just continuously like to
that's actually
really cement my point that you love to live in the past.
No, I would rather say I'm a historian of the game, and it honestly gives me more credibility to any of my takes because I am such a historian of the game.
That he watches Chelsea highlights.
Well, because I lived those moments, and I'm like, oh, I want to relive these moments.
Okay.
Because those moments are very near and like not near and dear, but near in the future rather. Like they're very close. So I'm just kind of like remembering what it's like. I know, like for you guys, a year and a half with no trophies. Actually, shorter because we won the Club World Cup. But like that short of a time is normal for not winning trophies. But for me, it's like a whole.
I won the Audi
so I have
Invitational,
to sit here
bro.
and like bask in my former glory to remember what it's like. A year and a half.
We won we won the preseason.
We win trophies every year.
I win like the Southeast Asian Invitational Summer Tournament almost every year, dude. What are you talking about?
Except for this year.
No, yeah, I know. We won the Audi one.
Back to my point, I've also been spending my weekend watching Bundesliga. Well, let me tell you, boys, they don't like to play much defense in that league. Not one.
Randall Colomuani's been tearing it up for Eintracht.
Notorious bottler.
Well,
except for in the Bundesliga, he's been tearing it up.
You know who has historically said that Frankfurt is a very sneaky good side is me, and who went out and took points from Bayern Munich? Frankfurt.
Was it Berlin? Oh,
Frankfurt. There was also, speaking of Berlin, the Berlin Derby. I don't know if that's what it's called, but it was Hertha versus Union. Union won. To be expected. They're good. I think they're very close to the top of the table now. What else happened in the Bundesliga? Dortmund beat Bayer Leverkusen 2-0. No Gio Reyna. No Gio Reyna in the side. Weird if you ask me. He scored in 2 consecutive games. But who am I to judge?
Class.
And I think
we are
that's
going to be.
the extent of it.
I guess while Chelsea hasn't been playing, Ethan has gone from being a bloke to being a Junga, Jongen,
Junga.
That's the German
Dude,
version of
come
boy.
on, bro.
Bro, I'm not. I never claimed. I'm
I should
reading
have,
off
you know
Google
what?
right now.
Massive oversight on
Was
my
los
part.
mit
I
ihm?
should have like really Germaned up this bit. I should have wore
Yeah.
a German kit. I should have.
I have
I
a
should
German
have just
kit on the
came
way.
into
I was
this
gonna rock
episode
it
in
if it was here.
Lederhosen.
Mm.
Big
Oh, yeah,
oversight
Lederhosen.
on my part. I should have played up to the part way more. But yeah, I mean, Bundesliga, they don't like to play much defense, fellas. They don't like
Yeah.
to
I
play
like
much
shooting.
defense.
Well,
And-
they did, and
The
Would
Red
you
one
agree?
real quick. The Red Bull Leipzig game. No bias, but I had as a person who unbiasedly had Leipzig -1.5. I think the penalty they awarded
Leipzig.
against Leipzig when Guardiola just missed a header, like he like went up for a header and like as he was coming down, it just like barely missed his head and hit his arm, and they gave a penalty. No bias, but I think that was a sham. So
That was a sham.
I could argue I'm
I
out
have no,
based on that.
They take a big break, didn't they? Didn't they like just
Yeah,
restart?
they just
They-
came back.
yeah, they
I think
take,
it was
like, a
the
3
second,
months
third
off.
game back.
I mean, they only have 18 teams.
They
so-
played midweek too, so
Less
I
games to
think
play.
there was a good amount of Bundesliga on. So there was no
yeah,
shortage.
das.
what the Bundesliga likes to do, and this is a good segue into the next and final segment of the show, is randomly sign Premier League players in the middle of the night. Woke up this morning to news that Joao Cancelo, a frequent name spoken on this show, is on his way to
Frequent.
Bayern Munich. Were you guys as shocked as I was?
Well, I
I
mean,
was
back
shocked.
to what I
I'm not
just
tagged
said
him with City though.
about Ethan being a historian and knowing ball. When I came on this very podcast and I said Joao Cancelo, was he not that good? I think that's where you realize that Ethan and Pep are just on the same wavelength. And you can
Oh,
argue
God.
both some of the greatest footballing minds alive. Because he sees what I see what he sees. And, you know, the big rumor now that Cancelo's, or not rumor, there was, I think, a Fabrizio tweet or somebody big tweeted it. They were looking heavily into Anthony Robinson,
I saw that from Fulham.
who has been playing
They're-
very well since the restart after the World Cup.
I saw that they were preparing a bid.
He honestly, I've seen a good amount of Fulham games for whatever reason after this restart. He's been one of their best players every time I watch. Like he interlinks on that left hand side so much. Like he gets so advanced and plays such a key role in their offense.
Yeah, we'll see if they can make a
But
deal.
the issue would be, I mean, they haven't really been playing with a left back. They've been playing three at the back, kind of, with Ake being just kind of like a left center back. So I guess the argument could be you don't want him to go to Man City and just be on the bench the whole time and do nothing and just be wasted. So it's kind of like
Well, maybe he'll get time and they'll move back to four at the back and do because Stones hasn't really been playing in the Premier League. It's been more Kanji and Ake, and then they've been rolling out Cancelo.
I think they've had a lot of injury problems from what I've heard. Like a lot of those guys have kind of been like in and out of the injury list.
Stones has been in and out of the injury list.
Like Stones, Diaz. I think Diaz has too.
Oh, can't remember the last time I saw Diaz play.
Yeah, I haven't seen Ruben Diaz play for Man City in years.
But yeah, I saw your cousin Ethan was punching the wall this morning, finding out that Cancelo was on his way. Rough news to wake up to.
He texted me. He was like, "What the hell happened?" I was like, "Listen, man. that's
Ethan's going to be
business.
like, okay,
Rather
so
get-
Pep and I were talking about it.
Well, hey,
Me and
I was
Uncle
like,
Pep.
Bastard.
wait, I don't know if you guys saw my tweet.
We had a
This
brain
can
link.
segue into this. I don't know if you saw my tweet, but there's a guy who's coaching for Reims, I think it is, and he was just like a football manager. He was just playing the game and somehow got the job. Like they get fined £22,000 per match
Every game, yeah, because he doesn't have his professional
because he doesn't have a
coaching
license. Like that is.
Yeah.
I don't have many dreams, fellas.
And he
But
just
that's
coached them into a tie against PSG, Balogun with the tying goal right at the end. Shout out to him, dual national.
But
PSG looking to sweep in and get Hakeem Ziyech from Chelsea.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
been a lot of news.
I mean, are we
and
just talking
rumblings out of
transfers now?
Yeah, we moved into transfers. There's
Okay.
been a lot of rumblings on the Chelsea on the west side of London, in the north side a little bit. Ethan, you guys signed the guy from PSV. That's official. Malo Gusto. Or no,
I think-
wait,
I think it's Gusto.
no, not
Yes.
Gusto.
I think we signed Gusto.
I know, but you
Oh,
also
I got a
signed.
Fabrizio. Here
We
we
signed
go.
somebody else too. Listen, I sometimes with Chelsea historically, I'm not the biggest fan of paying attention to transfers because I never know what's real or not. So I just kind of until I see them in a Chelsea shirt, like I don't really know who they are, unless it's a big name like obviously Mudryk who gets unveiled or something. But like,
Oh, with Gusto, you signed him and then loaned him
future.
back until the
Yeah,
summer.
he comes in the summer, but
Mhm.
yeah, same with Nkunku. So
Yeah.
Right.
But then the other news that's been coming, yeah, you touched on Ziyech to maybe PSG, and he really wants it. Interesting if he goes there. He's got that great left foot, can put great balls into the box. But the other
That's-
big one,
Him and Hakeem will be
let's
fooling
hold on,
on the Moroccan team.
Marash. I want to pump the brakes on the Ziyech praise. Like, yeah, he has a good left foot, but there's no excuse for him. He's almost like it's almost like watching like Kyle Korver touch the ball from the 3-point line. Like, you know, as soon as he's touching it, he's just fucking jacking it. Like, as soon as he gets the ball in an early position on the right wing, he just whips the ball in. He doesn't look. He just fucking whip. He just puts it in so early every time. Almost recently, it's like we never get build-up play down the left because this man is so addicted to sending early balls.
you guys don't have anyone that needs service in that box. Like, what's he gonna do? Whip it into Kai? Kai ain't gonna do shit with it.
This is my point, Rush. So it's like, you know, he's had some moments. Obviously, won a Champions League, scored some goals in that season, scored some other goals, scored a goal against Spurs. That was pretty sick. So it's like, I mean, thanks for coming, but I don't really think he panned out to his potential. Whereas
You guys,
opposed to
he
like, if we were to get rid of
Played
Kai
really
Havertz,
well in the World Cup.
Well, good thing that's not in a Chelsea shirt. But Kai Havertz is opposed to,
It is.
whereas
It's very good.
like I know we're not going to get rid of him, but if we were to get rid of somebody like Kai Havertz, it would be like, okay, well, I feel comfortable with that. He did his he will score the goal in a chance. Like that pays your price tag no matter what it is. I feel like so that's fine by me. But he was supposed to be the fucking magician from Amsterdam, and he battled injuries half the time and couldn't get into the squad. Like Tuchel bought him, never got into the squad.
Another Eredivisie flop in the Premier League. But now we've had in North London, they've been trying to add more depth to the squad, looking at Moises Caicedo. And Brighton are saying, fuck you, stop taking our fucking players.
It's such a bonehead move. So stupid. It's so stupid when clubs do
They're
this.
also like still answering. They're also like still anchoring like the center.
I mean, they're about to sign they're about to set a club
Like 80
record for a
million.
fee
It's like,
if
no,
they get
bro.
the 80 mil.
Exactly. If you're
It's like,
like
nah, bro.
small to medium club like that, and you get like the hope is that you could have a player develop into that to sell him to turn it into more players. That's how you create like an ecosystem of having good players. Like, do you know how many clubs have been built on? Like, Leicester City were in fucking Europe for a couple years because they were able to do shit like that. Like, it's you have to be able to sell players. Like, Tottenham didn't do a great job of it when they sold Modric and fucking Bale, but you have to be able to sell your good players for money if money's coming. Unless you're contending for a Premier League title or a Champions League. It's pointless otherwise. Like, what are they going to do? They're going to keep Caicedo for
Brighton's
him
like
to be
the team that's
unhappy at
getting
the
fleeced
club,
this year,
not
though.
want to be there. Because he came out and was like, okay, yeah, let me go to Arsenal. So now he's going to sit there at the club unhappy that
Why
he didn't let
wouldn't
him
he?
do what he wants to do, and he loses trust. It's a fire. It's a fire fest, honestly. Like, what are...
He's not going to want to give
I
his
mean,
all
everyone,
to this club anymore.
basically everyone at Brighton has only been in this job for like less than a year because everyone that has had a job at Brighton has gotten taken somewhere else, and then like Newcastle did a fleecing of Brighton, and then Chelsea did a fleecing of Brighton. So Like everyone there is like.
Listen,
new
I
for the most
think
part.
you have
but
to
the
be able
boards
to.
must be doing a good job because they're just picking off great little piece of talent.
Yeah, I would trust it
for
too.
no
I mean,
money either. Like Caicedo, they brought in for $5 million. Matoma for $3 million. Like they're getting these guys.
2.5, bro. Unbelievable.
it's what you get when you have good scouts. I mean, that's part of
But-
the somewhat of the beauty of being a lower budget side is that you have to be able to find guys you hit on constantly, and there's a big risk. Like I just saw
Who
Bournemouth
loves hitting on guys?
No, Bournemouth spent £30 million on somebody. I forget. It's from Sassuolo in Italy. I forget his name. I saw Fabrizio tweet about it, but it's like they spent £30 million on a player who they can hope keeps them from relegation. They're fucking bottom of the table. They have a little to no chance, honestly. They're pretty pathetic.
Brighton?
And it's like they're going to spend £30 million on a player. How are you not looking at a club like Brighton, who are spending next to nothing on all these players and flipping them for a huge flip on their investment?
Matoma's going to get flipped in like a year or
Yeah.
two. And
Exactly, but that's like the beauty of being a small club. That's how you become a big club, is having good players that get sold.
yeah.
Or you
But
get bought
now,
out.
yeah. But now because Brighton are blocking the move, Arsenal have turned their eyes to the Italian stud from
Fuck no,
West
bro.
I
London.
Fuck
actually-
no, bro.
They
Fuck
turned
no.
their eyes first to Conor Gallagher. Or no, wait, no. Chelsea are going to sell, or more keen
Chelsea
to
might
sell
sell
Jorginho because they don't want to
Gallagher.
sell Conor Gallagher to Everton.
Everton,
What it
yeah,
is.
because Everton just sold Anthony Gordon to
That
New
is
Newcastle.
That's a fishy deal, Jim. That's a fishy one.
That's a
like
fishy
What's
one.
so fishy about it? He's been
Because
trying to get out of there all
every-
season.
I've been seeing a lot of Everton fans be like, yeah, thanks for the fucking 50 mil. Like, pretty much like, yeah, we fleeced you.
Yeah.
He doesn't have much
I'm-
contributions. He doesn't score that much.
He might be
they're
excited
convinced-
and play a little bit more to his quality there.
Listen, right now I think Everton's won that deal. I don't really. I mean, Anthony Gordon was just kind of like Frank Lampard.
Well, I think
feel
if they were able to now get Gallagher, that'd be a huge win because I think Gallagher's
nice to
got some
flip,
quality, and I think if he got to go play regular minutes at Everton, I think you'd see a little bit more out of him.
But I think they're not selling him because he is kind of getting minutes. He's I would say a squad rotation guy, but his minutes are definitely in the uptick right now. He's been in the side the past couple games.
But how would you feel about Jorginho then going to Arsenal and wearing? a
I
red
wouldn't
shirt?
like it. I wouldn't.
Like it.
Not one
Yeah, I
bit,
don't want-
personally.
I'd rather call Patino back from Blackpool, bro.
You better pump your brakes, Buster. Arsenal should
He's
be
not
so
getting into
lucky
your
to have
squad,
a
pussy.
player like Jorginho in their club.
No, absolutely
A
not.
serial winner.
I think he brings experience. I think he brings experience, James. That's like one thing.
I'm sure his wage is going to be like too
Well,
much for
I mean,
whatever
listen,
we're
I
going to be
don't
paying
like to
for
throw
playing him, though.
allegations around, but a certain center mid for Arsenal might be in some trouble.
Who are
I
we
don't
talking
think
about?
they
Legal.
We're talking
extended
about
his
the guy
bail.
that's
What?
Legally,
he's fine.
like,
No, I think
We're
they
talking about Tomas.
they extended his bail throughout the rest of the season because there's some
That
shady
was
shit
like,
going on.
yeah, dude, that was like preseason, bro. We're not even worrying about that.
No, but they re-extended it, so his bail was up, and then they re-extended it through the end of the season. It's all
Well, let's keep riding then.
Mason. God forbid Mason Greenwood does something, and then all of a sudden he's
Yeah.
gone forever, and then Partey is just sitting there playing every week, getting whatever.
it's just fishy. It's fishy. Personally,
But yeah,
if it was
today-
my club, I'm being dead serious right now. If there are any sort of allegations like that, I would not want that player near my club. I'm being dead serious when I say that. That's nothing to joke about. Like, I would not want anybody like that, like, near my club. Like, those allegations are disgusting. It's kind of
Okay, that's
sad
why
that
there's
they
the
start
court.
doing
That's
that.
why there's law. I mean, obviously, we're gonna disavow if anything comes out against him, but like things are said all over the place these days. So we'll leave it at that.
We'll see what the legal system does there, but it's been a wild, like,
Yeah.
48
I mean,
hours.
what, do you don't
with,
trust the law?
Personally, as a human being, I would want justice to be served.
Yeah, hey, listen, I'm not one of the United guys just screaming for. There's a collective of them that are screaming for
I
Greenwood
want
back,
Mace
and I'm
back.
like,
Yeah,
No, but
I'm
that's
like-
the same. The allegations came out about Mason Greenwood. I guess there was more hard evidence for that, but it was like they severed ties so quickly. Okay.
Well, I think it was just like how quickly the evidence got to the mainstream media versus the Party case, where like none of it really kind of came out. They kind of bundled it
It
up
hasn't
really quickly.
even ever really like been super confirmed though.
I'm just
it's
saying.
all very leading. and
Should a
it's
man like
clear.
Jorginho, an Italian classy man like that, come and
Fuck
grace
that
your
guy.
center midfield? It would be a real
I
change
don't
of pace.
want that pussy.
It would be a real change of pace. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, till fucking the slowest locomotive on planet Earth.
Are you not going
It
to
doesn't
back
matter
Mikel
if
then?
you're
Like
fucking
Mikel's brought
possessing
you to
the
the
ball
promised land.
70% in their half. Speed doesn't matter if you're just a center mid sitting in their half.
I don't want
your
him.
team's
If
so
he's not
good
getting into
possessing.
your squad, why would I take him?
Because our squad's not that good attacking wise. Like we don't have the quality to possess in somebody's
He's not that
attacking
good
half right now.
attacking-wise.
You guys do. You're top
He's not
of
the
league.
Ballon d'Or fucking.
I'm literally describing
Fine,
why he's a
third
good
place.
player. Like what's going on?
I don't want him.
Okay.
I would rather not have him.
Well, it's been a wild 48 hours of transfers. We have tomorrow will be the deadline day. So when this
And
episode
there are a
comes
few
out,
other ones that were pretty interesting. Fabrizio said that Dan Juma was going. Where'd he go? To Everton.
Oh,
and
yeah, he got
duped
hijacked
and
by Tottenham and he scored
stolen
in
by
his first game.
Spurs.
Scored in his first
Yeah,
game.
that's pretty cool. Shout out to him for that. I guess the only time Spurs
They
will get a
also-
shout out from me.
I think they also just signed Pedro Porro finally after
Yeah.
Nice.
However
Sporting,
many
they're looking to get him in
days.
tomorrow.
going back and forth on that deal.
I don't know much at all about Pedro Porro.
I just like I don't. Are they going to make a difference for Tottenham? I don't think so. Like I don't know.
Tottenham might be the least frightening team of all time.
Yeah.
In all seriousness.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
those
so when
groups
when this episode is out in the morning, there's probably going to be some crazy stuff that happens tomorrow. Follow Fabrizio, or if
I'll be
you're an
retweeting
Arsenal fan and
negative
you don't follow Fabrizio, follow David Ornstein. I don't know, follow someone, and keep an eye on what happens.
I think. Do you guys loan anyone out at the end? Anyone that matters? I think we snuck
no,
Marquinhos out on a loan to Norwich.
Yeah,
Which is fine.
we've
At least
got
we get some time.
there's 10 offers in for Alenga.
Yeah, I saw
Which
that
is
in the
wild,
Bundesliga.
but-
He would cut up. I feel like.
I think if he went to Dortmund, that would be good for him.
Those are
he
those are the exact type of players who get those moves. Like a player who comes on for United and doesn't start regularly, they offer him those type of moves to give him regular minutes. Like think of like Serge.
I know, but Ten Hag won't let him go. Ten Hag's
Like,
just
those
saying
are the
like,
type of players the Bundesliga eats up. Like those
I know, but, like,
wingers
Ten
who don't
Hag-
necessarily get minutes.
but like in the United side now, right? We've got Pellistri starting to get more minutes. We've got Garnacho. We've got Sancho coming back in the squad. We have Antony. We have Rashford. And Martial, if he can stay healthy. Like I don't think there's room for him right now unless he gets to that next level. So I'm saying send him out on loan, but I guess Ten Hag's saying I don't see it fit for him to go to any of the clubs that have offered a deal for him. So
I mean, that's a lot of clubs. So
yeah, we'll see if there's actually
what's
a
Ten
move
Hag
done
trying
for
to
him.
say?
It looks like we'll do more of the business in the summer. Bids are coming in for Lindelof. Bids are coming in for Maguire. I saw Inter are interested in Maguire. He'll never leave England, but that would be hilarious to see him just go. And
I think you
being,
tweeted about the.
there was like a
Ole
rumor.
Coach
Yeah,
only
there-
wanted. Yeah. Speak on that.
He would take the Everton job if we gave him if he could sign Maguire and I can't remember who the
It was
second.
like two of
player
your
was.
bums, wasn't it?
It was
It was
Maguire,
and like McTominay or not.
yeah, it was Maguire and
not like he's
McTominay.
terrible,
yeah,
but
and I was like, why would we block?
it's
this?
just like, why are those
Let-
your
let-
guys?
let him take
Well, to
them.
be fair, they might be shit for Man United because Man United have grander aspirations of winning Premier League titles and winning Champions Leagues and stuff. But for a side like Everton, that's just what they
Yeah.
do. Right?
He makes a difference.
Like those players are gold to them.
could be.
Yeah, we wouldn't let McTominay leave for anyone though. Like Newcastle, we're sending bids in. We wouldn't let him go there. I think at some point they're going to have to cut
Well,
ties, but I
it
think
goes
Ten
back
Hag's
to what we
playing
were
it
talking
smart.
about earlier. It's the depth in the center of your midfield. You won't let him go because
Yeah.
you can't lose that depth.
Yeah, if Casemiro gets hurt or suspended or whatever, like McTominay has to play. So
I do have to say, I tweeted about this the other day, but if you hadn't ever seen Jacob Kiwior's wife, Arsenal's new signing, I'd recommend looking her up. Welcome to London, Jacob and Claudia. She's very talented, you could say.
all right, everyone, take a look at Claudia Kiwior.
Yeah, she's like twerking. She's like a twerk professional.
Interesting.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm down for it. In other news, Maresh is a terrible gambler and he lost his bet to his friend. How do you feel about that, Maresh? We have the Eagles and we have the
What bet
Kansas
did
City Chiefs.
Oh shit, he doesn't remember. So like, let's not remind him.
No, what happened?
Well, don't.
No, I
A
genuinely
couple episodes
remember.
ago, his buddy, which I guess, I mean, we've already broken the ice on this one. We'll see if he watches it. This is a little gift for him if he does. But we said he has the Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Eagles
He has the
to win
field.
the Super Bowl. And Maresh has the field, which is like the other five
oh.
or 16, 17 teams at that point.
Shit, I
And
forgot
Maresh
about that.
Is a dumb idiot.
But well, I'm not actually because I cashed out my Bengals bet during the week, contrary to all
you
your
did?
advice, and I
Some
cashed
pussy
in the
shit, Maresh.
612.
That is some pussy
Cashed
shit.
out the
That
612.
actually- Maresh, I
Okay,
actually, when
okay.
you called yourself earlier an alpha beta, I gave you a little too much credit. I think you're just a beta. Like after that, that's a beta.
Hey, money's money, man. Money's money, baby. 612 in the bank.
That's not
I'll
bad.
take
That's not
it.
bad.
Anything
That's
else,
not bad.
fellas?
Royal Rumble was this weekend. Don't know if you guys are wrestling, guys.
I used to be.
I would love to hear a 45
Who
to
won?
60-second breakdown.
Cody Rhodes won the men's Royal Rumble. Rhea Ripley won the women's. Sami Zayn turned on Roman Reigns, hit him with a chair. Big pop.
Oh, I saw some tweets about.
Is all I'll say. Some are arguing.
I heard some rumblings
say.
about how Zayn
Mad
should
heads.
fight Roman
Reigns.
Reigns at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that is the buzz. I'm not actually too involved in current day wrestling, but I do watch the Royal Rumble and I do watch WrestleMania. So
Logan Paul was in there.
Logan Paul, yeah. Did you
Jeez.
see that clip?
Yeah, that was wild.
That was pretty cool. Gotta say, that was pretty fucking cool.
Who do you guys like in the Super Bowl?
I think the Eagles are going to take it.
Kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I mean, I think if any of this injury does plague Pat at all, I mean,
He does get 2
He's got
weeks.
2 weeks.
really.
Yeah.
I know. But if it's like limiting him in any way, I think his explosiveness and his option to get out of the pocket, like get away from people.
Well,
is
also,
kinda
if depends
one of
on
the
the
things that puts him over
officiating
the
crew
edge.
too. The
Oh,
officiating
yeah,
crew, if
true.
they get the
That
same
was
one from last
atrocious.
night, then they're fine.
That was pretty devious.
Like
As someone who had
poor,
the
I mean, Hart. Pour one out for Cincinnati. They got fucked.
Yeah, they did.
Absolutely fucked.
They did. That was bad.
I
Three
will not-
3rd and 9s. Oh,
And the 49ers was just terrible. That was just a terrible game to watch.
dude,
after,
Brock
the
Purdy.
injuries
Oh,
in the
we're
first
gonna talk
quarter.
about alpha betas. Brock Purdy, top of the list, above me.
Why Brock Purdy?
He wouldn't come back into the game. He was gonna make fucking.
He tore his ACL.
Christian
Did you
McCaffrey.
not see the
That was,
report
no,
today?
that was honestly
Did you not see the report
just,
today? He literally
perfect
tore his
case of,
ACL.
Oh, I didn't know he tore his ACL. But why was he not throwing the ball then?
I think he also hurt his elbow when he hit it.
No,
on
I
his
think he
helmet.
tore his UCL,
His UCL?
which is in his arm.
That was the labia, I thought. The majority.
You're right. It is a UCL. I read it quickly. My man Ethan with the doctor stats tore his UCL.
You know, a
out
little
6
known
months.
fact about Ethan is I was the baseball manager.
Is he has a
of the baseball
doctorate.
team my senior year.
You have so many little known facts. I'm starting to think that they're just not known. Yeah.
That's
UCL.
little
Yeah, so about
known,
6
not
months might need surgery.
the same. Is little known not pertinent to my statement? Is that what you're trying to say, Mirage?
No, I feel like every week there's like 5 little known facts about Ethan that get dropped.
He's like, little known fact about Ethan Camps. I've watched the most AFCON football out of everyone in New York.
Little known fact: I've been watching
Well, actually, I
Bundesliga.
didn't
Little
watch
known
much of
fact:
that
I'm a
because
wrestling
it wasn't on
buff.
TV.
Little known fact: watch every WrestleMania. Not huge into wrestling, but just every WrestleMania and Royal Rumble.
I am not kidding you right now. On the background TV right now is wrestling.
You like just dudes grabbing.
All right.
What's better
Well,
than this?
Walkout right now. WrestleMania 20.
Well, everyone, thanks for listening to another week of
Yeah,
Blokes.
I think that's all we got.
I think we're gonna cut it there.
We'll
like
be
and
back.
subscribe.
We'll be
Send
back.
this episode to your friends. Tell people about
Send it to your dad. My dad listens. Send it to your dad.
Send it to your nan. Send it to whoever
Send
you
it to your
want.
gran.
Yeah. Send it to your man.
While your nan's smoking a cig, eating her shepherd's pie on a Sunday. Send it to your nan.
Yeah.
Also, watch out for the transfers.
Mashing peas.
I will say this.
Watch out for the transfers.
On a closing note, there is a hive of Chelsea Ethan supporters kind of growing in my DMs.
Oh.
Well,
By
they're not
hive, I
that active
mean
in
2 people.
replies.
You don't even tweet.
He should tweet.
People watch
He
the show.
tweets at people more than he tweets.
People watch the show.
All right, Everton going to beat Arsenal this week. Calling it. That's easy.
Damn. All right. You heard it here first.
All right. We'll close on that note.
All right. Peace, everybody.
Peace.
I'm here with two former legends.
Where's the bloke?
It's half time. We talk to a bloke about football. Where's the bloke?